I have my head attached. What's really nice about this stage of clay, it is getting a little more leather hard, but you can push the clay in to make eye sockets or pinch your piece to make a little bit more narrow of a chin. This is going to be a bunny. So I really want to think about, maybe I want to have it a little bit more long and narrow. Whatever you do, be gentle to it, but you can see just putting in the eye sockets give it a little bit more dimension and shape. Bunnies tend to have a little bit of a cheek. So maybe for the cheeks, if I make 2 little spheres about the same size. There's one. This one's a little bit larger, so I'm going to actually remove a little bit of that clay, so they're about the same size. I'm going to flatten them out to be a pancake shape. And then I'm going to dome them a little bit so they actually kind of punch out. It's really important that you look at a bunny's face. See how fast my internet is, huh? If I'm going to attach these little pieces together as we're waiting. Anytime you're going to attach clay, you have to score. Notice I'm multitasking, right? I'm looking up an image of the bunny's face as I'm working. Don't just sit and stare at your phone and say, well, I'm waiting to look up something. Figure out something else to work on as you're waiting. Okay? You got to kind of manage your time in here to make sure that you get your work done. Here's his little cheeks. Maybe I want to add a little nose. So it's really important as you're building, as you're making your shapes, look at pictures of the piece you're trying to make. Focus on really scoring well and blending, even with the nose. The first week for the totems, you make your pinch pot forms, all of your bodies, all your heads. Start getting your heads attached, pushing in the eye sockets, and start building up the shapes. Here's a little bunny. So you can see, here's his little cheeks, his little nose. His eyes, if I'm going to do eyes, here's kind of a trick for eyes. If you make 2 little spheres, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit, working on the eye. Make sure they're the same size. They are. Score up that socket, poor guy. Whatever you do to one side, you should do to the other side to keep it more consistent. Look at this crack in there. Now I don't have to blend his eyes necessarily, because you'll see what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll out a little coil of clay, pretty thin. And I'm going to start from where his nose is. You see that okay? And I'm going to come around here. Now the clay is pretty wet and I'm going to blend it pretty well, so I'm not too worried about scoring this little piece. You see that? It's the bunny's eye. And again, if you can't get in there with your fingers, get in there with a carving tool or a wood tool. I think it looks pretty good. So now instead of just having the eye, we've got the eye and the eyelid. To give it an eyeball, the back of a pencil actually works really well. Right, there he's looking at you. Give him an iris. So that's an eye and cheeks and nose. With the cheeks or anywhere that you might capture air, as you're working on your creature, take a needle tool and just poke a hole. So there's air in those cheeks. There is some air in the head, so I'm going to give a couple shots down here. Maybe I'll do the body once I'm kind of done, but here's my little bunny face. Add features first, let it get more leather hard, and then you can come back and carve and add texture.